Hello, and thank you for joining us at xm.com for this Forex Preview video. I'm Cristina Marujos, and joining me today is Cristina Barcenido, investment analyst. We'll be having a look at the NFP report for May to be released on Friday. Cristina, this report is forecast to give some much-needed breathing space for the dollar, which has come under pressure this week. We'll have a look at the dollar in a moment, but for now, I'd like us to focus on the non-farm payrolls report itself. What should we expect?
Hello, Christina. Well, the data refer to the first weeks of May when the US government had already started to gradually ease the lockdown measures, allowing restaurants and shops to open and people to leave their houses. So I'm optimistic that this week's employment report could be an encouraging one, likely showing that job positions declined at a softer pace of 8 million compared to the double-digit loss of 20.5 million registered in April. Of course, such a number is still part of a painful story, which the unemployment rate could further justify if it rapidly rises from 14.7% to 19.8%. However, nobody expects a quick bounce back to the impressive pre-lockdown levels, so some improvement in the jobs numbers could be taken as a signal that we have reached the bottom and the worst is behind us, as the private ADP survey and the better than expected ISM PMI readings indicated on Wednesday. Besides the employment data, I would also pay close attention to the monthly change in April hourly earnings, which faced significant upside pressure in the previous month, as job cuts were mostly concentrated in low-income group of people. So any slowdown in the monthly reading could be a sign that the rehiring process is indeed in progress and has started to outpace new layoffs.
Given the FOMC is meeting next week, do you think the NFP report could affect whether the Fed introduces further stimulus measures?
Well, I think plans for additional stimulus could remain on the table despite the joy the reopening phase is creating right now, because we shouldn't forget that there's still a lot of uncertainty about how the virus could develop in the coming months, particularly in the absence of an effective vaccine, which could trigger a second wave of infections. However, at the current time, I believe that an upside correction in the data could advise the Fed to keep some stimulus power for more difficult times and instead take the back seat and wait and see how the economy performs under the existing programs, or at least avoid aggressive stimulus actions such as negative interest rates and the risky Main Street lending program that is designed to help small and medium-sized companies that don't have access to public markets.
And finally, let's have a look at the dollar. Now, given the ongoing protests in the United States, the greenback came under pressure earlier this week. Do you think the NFP for May could help the currency pose a rebound?
Indeed, the dollar lost significant ground against its six major currencies, falling to three-month lows this week. The U.S. demonstrations, which continue for more than a week now, didn't bode well for the dollar, but I think the rising interest for riskier assets is the main reason why the dollar, which has been performing as a safe haven asset during the lockdown period, was underperforming recently. I mean, there is still significant support under safe haven assets because of the virus uncertainty and fears that political tensions between the US and China could further escalate. Nevertheless, economies are moving forward with their reopening plans, trying to approach normal levels, and there is rising optimism that government and central banks will continue to provide a safety net to their economies through recovery fund programs, especially in the EU. So riskier assets such as the euro managed to get significant attention this month and stage an impressive rally. Now about the Friday's NFP report, the data could brighten the outlook for the US economy and give some room for improvement to the dollar. So we might see some slowdown in other currencies such as the euro and the pound.
Cristina, thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for watching this Forex Preview here at xm.com.